Hello all and welcome to the channel. Today I am taking a look at Bansan. Now this is a 1 to 5 player game, so you've got that solo option as well. It's sort of light, medium complexity, and it's going to take you up to about an hour, I would say, and it really depends on the player count. Now in this game we're heading to this kind of Bansan. It's like a market here, and you can see the board. We've got quite a bit going on. I'll explain what is happening. So this is a 2-player setup, and I've got a few bits just out of camera view. Each player is going to have one of these boards here to cover your money and your shopping list. You'll start with 3 of these shopping lists. You're going to keep 2 and discard 1 of them, and on here you are set collecting the types of food, and when you've got them all you can complete your order and you're going to earn money, and the most money in this game is the winner. So the aim is to complete 3 of these, and that will trigger game end, or if this wholesaler deck ever runs out and you can't refill, that will trigger game end as well. You'll get potentially another turn depending on who triggered it and who the first player was, and then whoever has the most money is the winner. And there's a few ways to potentially lose money as well based on the capacity of these bins. So you've got some shopping lists. You're going to have 10 money to begin with. Pick a starting player of the Bansan token, and you've got your kind of shopping basket here as well with 3 of these meeples. Now you've got the wholesaler deck here. You draw out 5 at random to begin with. You've got some events that might come into play, a deck of shopping lists, and in a 2-player game you've got 6 stalls, and you can see you've got 1 each of each good. So I've kind of categorized them as these are kind of recommended as value 1 and these are recommended as value 2. Really handy sort of player overview aid here, and on the back it reminds you of the suggested market prices there as well. And we've got the bins, which we've started with a few cards at random free which have been allocated in there. So to kind of begin with then, players are, you're getting your money, you've decided starting player, and the first player is going to pop one of their meeples down on one of these sort of stools here. So let's say they go for seafood. The next player's up and they're like, right, I'm going for fruit and veggies, and then it goes backwards. So they go again, they're going to go here, and yellow finally chooses there. And I'll go through the importance of that in a moment. So we're pretty much ready to begin. Each player would have taken 5 cards each, and depending on the order, let's say it was like this, they would either pick the top lot or the bottom lot. You can't rotate them, and then they would start up some of the stalls, which I've kind of already done. So there'll be 10 cards out in a 2-player game there to kick us off with some goods that we're competing for to get in our stalls and put our meeples out. So what are you going to do on your turn then? The first thing is the stocking phase. So you can either pick one type of product. So you can pick dry goods. So you can see there's 4 there, 4 dry goods, and you would stock up the market, which is why it's called the stocking phase. If you didn't want to pick a type of good, you can take a bit of potluck and you can keep revealing. So this is option A is to take a type of product here. Option B is to reveal. So let's say we reveal these, and as soon as you have a matching product, you discard the card that actually matched it, you flip it over and you can see it's got a green side, so that goes in the green bin there. And this card, you have choice over which orientation it goes and which product into one of these stalls. So it's kind of a nice way to get products that might not be out in the wholesale supply here, or you're just pushing your luck and hoping to get, more stuff, and you have choice over which ways these go. And you can see, for example here, the Macam, we can pop that in there now. We could have done it that way, but that is your first decision on your turn, is to do option A, produce from here, or option B, flip those over. Okay, next then, you are your action phase, and you've got 2 actions to do from A, B or C. A is a buy-in. So you are going to want to buy these various goods to put in your shopping basket to try and complete these shopping lists. That's the aim of the game really. So how are we going to buy stuff? You can buy 1 produce type as one go, and you've got 2 goes. So maybe we're going to go to another vendor's stall. So let's say it's yellows are up. They can go and buy from pink, or they can buy from stalls, in this case, which are not occupied. And they buy them for the recommended price or the suggested price, which, as I said, is on the back here. So these are valued suggested at 1 and these are suggested at 2. So they're going to come here and they're going to buy this for a suggested 1. They pop it underneath their shopping basket here. They pay the money to the supply, and this is kind of just our camera view. And that was one action, buying one type of produce. Maybe they're going to go and get some fruit and veg from their my opponent. And this is where the bartering and the negotiation happens. So they're like, right, I'll take 2 of these and I'll give you 2 money. And they're like, no, I want 3 money for those. So that's where you're gonna, this game really elevates is that negotiation skills amongst the players, because in higher player counts, there is more stalls out, so you can go to other competition. Or you might even decide to put your extra worker out, because you start with 3 workers and you can pay 3 money to put your other worker on one of these spots. And that's great because that gives you discounts when you go and buy from the wholesale. So let's say, for example, you can't get fruit and veg from here. Well, in this case, there is no fruit and veg stall. But let's say they want to go and get dry goods. Now, you'd think this is their stall, Yellows, they can just go and buy their own dry goods. Well, you can't. You can't buy things from your own stall. But what you can do is, because you've got a relationship with the dry goods stall, with the wholesaler, you can buy dry goods from here at half the suggested price. So we can see there's 4 goods out there. I don't have to buy all 4. I can buy up to 4 because I've got a good relationship with them. I'm going to go and buy these 2 here. And normally they cost 1 each. Remember, the seafood and meat are 2 each as suggested. So I'm going to buy these 2 money, but I have a great relationship with them. I get half price rounded down, which is in this case is only 1. So I'm going to take these goods, I'm going to pop them underneath my shopping trolley, and I've paid the 1 money, done. You do not replenish just yet. That's the end of your turn. Now, that was 2 actions. I bought produce from here and I bought produce from the wholesaler. What else could you do? So you could sell 1 produce. So this is where you actually sell things from your stall and you sell it to kind of a non-existent space like a discard pile, which is sort of like the online market. And again, you get half the suggested price. So here, if I sold these 2 seafood, normally the suggested price is 2 each, which is 4 money. Half that is 2 money. So I'm going to go and get rid of those, put them in a discard, and I take 2 money from the supplier. That is selling. Option C then is emptying a waste bin. Now, why would you want to empty these? Because once you complete a shopping list, all of those cards that you have spent, let's say we spent these to complete a shopping list, when you actually flip them over, they've got these colours on the back here, and you can see they do vary. You've got one dry good and another dry good, and in this case they are orange on the background, but you can see this dry good here is actually green on the back. So you never quite know what the colours on the back are actually going to be in terms of the products. But as you turn these over, you discard them into the bins, and you can see if you go past the capacities here, you are paying a fine of 1 money per card. So let's say these are really building up. It can actually be really beneficial as an action to empty one of these waste bins, and you get paid for doing so. So you discard all of those in the paper bin here, put them in the discard, you would get 2 money for doing so. Now, if that bin was overflowing, you'd actually get an extra money on top of that. So that's free money. If you'd done both your actions in terms of empty a bin, so your first action, you empty a bin. If you did the second action as empty a bin as well, you get an extra coin on that, so 2 plus the 1, and maybe even another +1 if it was overflowing. So that is the 3 main actions in the game. You're buying, or you're selling, or you are emptying a waste bin, and you can pick 2 of any of those, and you can do the same one twice as well. You then go into the upkeep phase, and this is where you complete any of those shopping lists. Now, when you do complete one, all those goods go from your shopping basket into the bins. You get rid of this, you get your money, and you then get 2 more new shopping lists. You pick one of those to keep and discard the other. So you'll always have 2 shopping lists in place, secret behind your player board. You will then check your shopping bag. So you can see it reminds you here a maximum of 8 at the end of your turn. Now, if you did have more, you can give them to opponents, maybe for favours in the future, or you have to put them in these bins. And if they do overflow, you're paying a fine there as well. And then finally, you replenish the wholesale row. Now, as you do this, if you manage to get a card with a star on, which we haven't this time, but you can see some of them, if I can find one, have a star on. It doesn't matter how many stars, as long as there is one, you will do an event. And there's a host in here, folks. We've got pest infestation. 1 produce card per store gets thrown into waste bins. So there's loads of variety, and they really do have an impact on the game as well, I find, and just add a bit of theme and a bit of a storyline to some of the craziness that can happen. And that's pretty much it. Each player goes through this whole turn, and then it goes to the next player. And they're going to do the same again. They're going to do the stocking phase. So maybe they're like, right, I'm going to take all these dry goods here. So they take those, they can distribute them among, as many dry goods stores if they were. So they pop them them under here, and it can be someone else's stall, and you might choose to do that, having negotiated with them and said, look, I'll put these under here if you give me a free one. It doesn't, it doesn't cost me when I come and buy something from your stall. So all sorts of trading and negotiation. Now you can actually swap your goods from one of your shopping trolleys or shopping bags to another one to sort of sweeten the deal as such. But you can't take goods from here as a bribe and put them in someone's shopping trolley, because that's an action to do so. So that was the stocking phase, and you got your actions. So maybe they want to buy a few of these, the purple in this case, and they're like, right, yep, you told me I could have a free one if I loaded at it. So they put that in their shopping basket, and you pretty much just carry on. And eventually someone's going to trigger the game end with 3 of those shopping lists complete, or this deck is going to run out. At that point then, you are going to have a chance to complete any remaining shopping lists if you've got any, and then you have to get rid of any products that are still in your shopping basket or in your stall, and they're going to get flipped over, put in the bins, and you will potentially lose or get fined money for doing so. And whoever has the most money is the winner. Now that end aspect of moving these remaining ones and stuff in your shopping basket has caught out a few players in plays I've had, because literally you want to be uber efficient and not have anything left in your store and nothing in your shopping basket, so you're not losing that money. Now there's lots to like here, folks. It's very colourful. I love the components are nice, which I don't really talk about normally in most of my games, but they are nice here. And I do like the dynamic of some of those decisions you're making. Right, am I going to go and stock up from here? Am I going to take a chance of here? Because it's interesting, it's not necessarily you wanting the most produce in your particular stall, because you can only sell it for half price for the online goods. But it's about what your opponents want, not necessarily what you want. Because if you can stock something up like meat or seafood that's really scarce, and someone's willing to, you've noticed that they really want that, then that's great. It gives you bargaining power to get other stuff because they want what you're offering. You can't really go and make the most of what you've got here, but having your meeple on some of these stalls gives you an opportunity to go and do some, getting stuff from the wholesale market cheaper. Now you can, once in the game, which I didn't mention as well, is you can rent and or release a store, which basically means you can pay free money, as I said, to put your extra dude out, or once you can move one of your existing dudes over to here, and that doesn't cost you, and you kind of flip your shopping market over, and it reminds you you've done your R&R action. So this game, yes, it's lightweight. It reminds me a little bit of something like Bansan's, but a little bit more going on here, because it offers a really nice dynamic amongst the players. You're jostling for position. You can see your opponent maybe have completed 2 of their shopping lists, and you're kind of like, right, I don't really want to bargain with him. It's got that kind of Catan vibe, but just more layers to it here. Catan, you're like, right, if I know I swap this sheep for, their brick, they're going to build that settlement or what have you. Here, you don't quite know what that shopping list is, and you don't know how they're trying to manipulate the game and get the most out of you, how much they can stock in their shopping bag, and they're going to do something else with it. So lots of little things to like. This, I've not quite seen before, these actual bins and the capacity and how you can empty them, but you only get 2 actions. So, picking an action to get rid of this can be really powerful, but then it opens up opportunities for others to complete their shopping list because there's space and they're not going to get the fines. But maybe you want to complete your shopping list that turn. So one of your actions you're going to spend doing this, and you're just getting that money trickling in. And that can be really nice. Getting money from different areas and selling to your opponents can actually generate quite a lot of income if you're astute over it, rather than feeling like the win is all about the shopping lists. I've actually won a game where I completed 2 of my free shopping lists and my opponent completed all 3, and I still won because I supported them completing theirs with my scarce goods and charged them considerable money. I was emptying the bins often, so it seemed like they were taking control, but actually I was making a lot of income here and there. So yeah, lots to like in this one, folks. If you're after something that scales well, haven't tried this solo yet, I've tried 2-player and 3-player, plays quickly, then this could be the game for you. There we are, Bansan. Enjoy.